Welcome back to Global Bike Buzz, the home for two-wheeled obsession, where every throttle twist tells a story. Today's spotlight is on a motorcycle that's been turning heads for a while now in the entry-level sports segment. It's sleek, efficient, and oozes that track-inspired DNA. We're talking about the 2025 Suzuki Gixxer SF 155, a bike that's not trying to pretend it's something else. Instead, it leans into its character with pride, and delivers a surprisingly well-rounded experience for riders of all kinds. As the camera rolls up on it, the first thing that strikes you is the design. Suzuki has refined the Gixxer SF's look again this year, and while the silhouette remains familiar, there are subtle enhancements that give it a sharper, more contemporary edge. Up front, the fairing feels more aerodynamically sculpted than ever. The nose drops down aggressively, and the headlamp unit, a full LED setup, now looks sleeker and more integrated with the bike's design language. It gives the impression of a much larger, sportier motorcycle, and that's exactly the appeal. Whether you're pulling up to a cafe or filtering through city traffic, the Gixxer SF has presence. The visor sits neatly above the headlight, slightly tinted, giving the bike a more premium stance. It's not just a visual element, it actually helps with wind deflection on highway rides. Look closer, and you'll see how the turn indicators have been redesigned to sit more flush with the fairing, lending a cleaner profile. The paint quality this year is exceptional. Suzuki is offering a couple of bold dual-tone options, and they've gone for a slightly matte finish with metallic flakes that really catch the sunlight. It looks purposeful and fast, even when it's standing still. From the side, the proportions of the Gixxer SF 155 remain one of its strongest points. Unlike many bikes in this segment that either look too small or too bulky for their displacement, this one hits the sweet spot. The fairing flows smoothly into the fuel tank, and the tank itself has those signature muscular cuts that give your knee something to grip onto during spirited riding. The Gixxer SF badging is now more minimalistic, gone is the loud chrome font, replaced by a more elegant, race-inspired decal that blends into the bodywork. The seat unit is split style, with a comfortable rider perch and a slightly raised pillion section. It's sporty without being impractical, and both seats get new textures this year that offer better grip and cushioning. The side panels below the seat now taper more sharply, adding to the dynamic character of the bike. The blacked-out engine, frame, and exhaust further contrast the body color, making the entire design package look cohesive and premium. Now move around to the back, and the design continues to impress. The tail section is narrow and upswept, with a stylish LED tail lamp that's crisp and visible even in daylight. The rear indicators match the front in design and placement, keeping the overall look clean. One standout feature is the rear tire hugger and mudguard design. It's functional and adds a layer of ruggedness without disturbing the sport bike silhouette. The short stubby exhaust, a signature Gixxer trait, remains, and it's now slightly restyled with a sharper edge and a dual-tone finish, giving it a more refined appearance. Now let's get under the bodywork and talk about what's powering this machine. The 2025 Gixxer SF 155 carries forward the trusted 155cc, single-cylinder, air-cooled engine that's been the heart of this lineup. It now features minor refinements for improved throttle response and efficiency, while continuing to offer the kind of reliability and predictability that Suzuki is known for. Peak power sits around 13.6 horsepower at 8,000 RPM, and torque is just shy of 13.8 Nm at 6,000 RPM. On paper, those numbers may not leap out at you, but in real-world riding, especially in city conditions and quick weekend rides, they translate into a smooth, linear delivery that's easy to handle yet rewarding when pushed. Suzuki SEPA, or Suzuki Eco Performance technology, continues to make a difference here, ensuring that the bike balances power with fuel efficiency. The engine has been tuned for better low-end grunt this year, meaning it pulls cleanly from low revs, making it ideal for urban traffic. The 5-speed gearbox remains unchanged, and that's not a bad thing. Gear shifts are slick and precise, with a light clutch that makes city commutes far less tiring. There's enough play in the power band to make downshifting and overtaking a breeze. Where the Gixxer SF shines is in how it delivers this performance. It's not a wild, aggressive machine, it's smooth, deliberate, and confidence-inspiring. Whether you're a new rider learning the ropes or someone who commutes daily and loves the occasional twisty road, it adapts without complaint. Cruising at 80 to 90 km/h on highways feels stable and relaxed. The engine hums along comfortably, with minimal vibrations thanks to better engine mounting points and a rebalanced crankshaft. When it comes to handling, Suzuki has worked hard to make this one of the best in its class. The bike rides on a telescopic front fork and a monoshock at the rear, both tuned more for comfort this year, without sacrificing the sporty character. The chassis is a diamond-type frame, and the whole setup offers excellent feedback in corners. The steering is light and communicative, making lane changes and filtering through traffic feel effortless. The 17-inch wheels wrapped in grippy MRF tires provide adequate grip for most riding scenarios, and braking is handled by disc brakes at both ends. Now with single-channel ABS as standard for enhanced safety. On twisty roads, the Gixxer SF stays composed. You can lean it in confidently, and the bike holds its line without any drama. It's not razor-sharp like a track-focused sport bike, but it delivers a balanced, enjoyable ride that keeps you in control. The ergonomics strike a nice middle ground. It's slightly leaned forward but not so much that your wrists are crying after an hour. It feels like a proper sports tourer in miniature, which is exactly what many young riders are looking for. One of the biggest wins with the 2025 version is the digital instrument cluster. It's now a negative LCD display that's easier to read in direct sunlight, and the information layout has improved. You get your speedometer, tachometer, fuel gauge, clock, gear position indicator, and trip meters all clearly laid out. The backlight adjusts automatically to ambient light, which is a neat touch that adds to the premium feel. Suzuki has priced the Gixxer SF 155 at approximately a superscript 11.48 lakh ex showroom in India, and equivalent international pricing keeps it competitive in other markets as well. Considering the features, the build quality, and the refinement level, this remains one of the most value-for-money bikes in the fared 150cc segment. It undercuts some of the more aggressively priced competition while delivering on reliability, brand trust, and daily usability. The fuel economy continues to be a strong point too. In real-world riding, you can expect anywhere between 45 to 50 km per liter, depending on how you ride. With a 12-liter fuel tank, that gives you a practical range of over 500 km, easily covering weekly commutes and weekend rides without constant refueling. In terms of ownership experience, Suzuki's network has been steadily improving, and service intervals remain fairly low cost. Spares are widely available, and the bike's simple mechanical layout means it's relatively easy to maintain, even for new owners. For riders looking to step up from a commuter and into the sport bike lifestyle without diving into high maintenance costs, this is a solid stepping stone. As you walk away from the Gixxer SF 155, what lingers is the feeling that Suzuki has done its homework. It didn't try to reinvent the formula. Instead, it focused on sharpening what was already good. A better refinement, improved efficiency, and a sharper look that feels genuinely premium. This isn't just a starter sport bike anymore. It's a mature, well-thought-out machine that stands on its own in a highly competitive segment. So if you're in the market for a daily rider that looks like a mini superbike, rides like a dream on both city roads and weekend getaways, and doesn't leave a hole in your wallet, this 2025 Gixxer SF 155 deserves a place on your short list. It's smooth, reliable, and delivers just the right amount of sportiness to make every ride something to look forward to. That wraps up our in-depth look at the 2025 Suzuki Gixxer SF 155. If you found this review helpful or just enjoyed taking this ride with us, go ahead and give us a thumbs up. Drop your questions or thoughts in the